I'm not over yet.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mario. We back at with another video. So today we'll be checking out where are these viral basketball players now. So around the 2010s, there been mixtapes of viral basketball players, and when you see these mixtapes, you see how they play everything, and you see how many views people see them, and viral it will get the actual video, and you will see that they were very talented, everything, and you couldn't wait to see them in the league and how they will play out everything. But some viral basketball players, they live up to the hype. When they come into the league, they actually do well in the league. Some of them, they don't make it to the league. They just, they did well in high school. Then they get to college, it doesn't transition, and then, they probably don't make it to the NBA. But some of them, when they were in high school, they were great, but as soon as they come to the NBA, they're not the same like how they was back in high school, So, high school, you was the main guy, and now when you're in the NBA, you're not the same person and everything. Yeah, it's like, what happened to you? You know what I'm saying? And, some of them, too, you see them in high school, and all of a sudden, stuff changes. You hear them, they go to jail, or they doing something else, and it's like a what if situation. Like, what if, that person didn't go to jail or didn't get in trouble, stuff like that, or what happened with their careers. So, yeah, so many viral players that that did, they was fine in the NBA. Some of them didn't, but yeah, there was a lot of viral basketball players. I'm not gonna lie. Like, around my 2010s, around that time, I've seen a lot of them, and some of them were like decent when it comes to the NBA. Some of them lived up to the hype. Some of them, they kind of fell off, and yeah, it was kind of like, what happened to that person? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so we're gonna dive on this here. I want to see who are the viral basketball players that this video is gonna be talking about. I mean, when you think of viral basketball players, Zion, you have around the time LaMelo, Julian Newman, players like that. So we'll see the players in this video. But before we dive in there, make sure I give this video a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to your boys. Let's dive on in.
Some high school stars go on to rise through the ranks and live up to the hype, turning their talent into a successful NBA career, while others fade out and face controversies. From throwing gloves in the ring after a failed NBA career, to shifting gears into music after shoplifting charges. Here are 10 high school basketball players who once took over the internet with their talent and what happened to them now, starting with Julian Newman, who made headlines by debuting on his high school varsity basketball team at just 11 years old. After dropping 91 points in a middle school game, his coach, who also happened to be his dad, bumped him up to varsity. By the time he was a junior in high school, Julian had already crossed the 3,500 point mark. Averaging 17 points per game, he became the youngest player ever to reach 1,000 career varsity points. Newman was dominating the stat sheets and the publicity that came with it. His athletics were raking up millions of views on YouTube, and his stats became national news, making appearances with Steve Harvey and Conan. But there was one thing that was holding him back. I hope he grows tall so he has a chance for this to become something. However, it never happened. Despite the flashy handles and deep threes, Julian's size eventually caught up to him. At just 5'7" and barely 120 pounds, he simply didn't fit the physical mold that college scouts and the NBA were looking for. Even top recruiting platforms like ESPN never ranked him. But along with his size, it was also his overly confident, sometimes cocky attitude that kept him away from first-rate basketball. With his father coaching him throughout high school, Julian grew accustomed to special treatment. He never developed into a team player.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
In fact, he was
if you just watch his game, everything was like, dribble, 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 dribble. Like, it wasn't really team basketball. I get what he's saying. So, yeah, I remember the father. People compare him to like LeVar Ball and stuff like that. Like, how he's trying to be like the next LeVar Ball and stuff like that. How he was, hype up his son, everything. But yeah, when you see the videos, like his mixtapes, everything, he's good. Don't get me wrong. Like, the dribbling was, cool, but as you keep watching his game, it just like okay, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the height wise, you know, I get it. You know, you're 5'7". Not a lot of scouts are gonna be look at you everything because you know when they look at smaller guards, they think that oh you can't play defense and you can't do this, you can't do that. So, but you know. I mean, hey, I mean, if he was a team player, more of a team player, they probably would look at it different. But you know, I mean, still be hard, you know, because he's 5'7". So, but yeah, it'd be kind of hard. But yeah, it's just his play style. It was just like okay, like you know, you're good dribbling. You know what I'm saying? So it's yeah, it was like yeah, it was like okay.
On the court. Now with D1 offers off the charts, no serious college offers, and his high school career behind him, Newman pivoted back to where it all began, social media. He now runs a YouTube channel where he's often seen battling other players one-on-one in pickup games. Today he has over 1 million Instagram followers and over 11,000 YouTube subscribers. With his NBA career off the table, Julian has been hopping into every influencer sports league he can, from basketball to dodgeball. He's even stepped into the ring, joining influencer boxing events to stay relevant. Although Newman's rebranding as an influencer has kept him in the spotlight, he'll always be overshadowed by the success of his longtime rival, LaMelo Ball, who made his high school debut at just 13 years old. But unlike Newman, LaMelo was already 5'9" and dropped an impressive 27 points in one of his first varsity games. At just 15, he scored a jaw-dropping 92 points in a single game, surpassing Newman's 91-point mark and ranking second in California high school history. But it was a half-court shot 2 seconds after a tip-off in a 2016 game that stunned the internet and set the stage for his social media fame. By the end of his sophomore year, he was averaging 26.7 points and nearly 10 assists per game. And his YouTube mixtapes were garnering millions of views. LaMelo had become a novelty at just 16. He had his own signature shoe, starred in his family's Facebook reality series, and was already driving a Lamborghini.
Ball in the Family. If you never seen that, man, hey, you missed it. Cause what a time, yeah. The Ball brothers, the Ball family, during that time period, they were hype. LeVar was hyping them up for real. Like first, he was really trying to hype up like Lonzo, everything, you know, because when you see, you know, the Ball brothers, everything, you're like, oh my god, like, you know, you see like viral videos of them in high school. It's like, oh shoot, like, yeah, they can be tough. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, LeVar, you know, was hype up Lonzo, everything. But when you see LaMelo on the court during high school, in my mind, when I first saw it, I was like, yo, like, who is this dude? You know, playing with these guys, because yeah, he was short, and you know, everybody was bigger than him. You know. So, and he was actually, you know, cooking, you know, he was shooting the shots, you know, he had a handle everything. So, like, it's crazy. The way how he played in high school, he plays like now, which is crazy. You know, shooting long range shots, you know, his handles, everything, he moves like the exact same. It's crazy. So, it's just crazy to me how I've seen him, you know, younger. You know, I was little too, you know, just watching him, and now, you know, he the NBA with the Hornets, you know, playing basketball. You know, it's crazy. Like, Tommy flying, bro. For real.
What kind of car do you drive now? Wow. Or BMW.
But instead of the usual high school to college route, he signed for Lithuanian League, becoming the youngest American pro basketball player in modern history. However, the level of competition was weak, and the move felt more like a publicity tour for the Ball family brand than true development. After clashes over the lack of playing time and ankle injuries, LaMelo moved again, joining his father's Junior Basketball Association before heading to Australia for a serious shot at pro basketball. He signed with the Illawarra Hawks in Australia's NBL, where he played one season and broke records for viewership and media attention.
I just think it's the best route for me. I'm trying to be the #1 pick for the 2020 draft. So,
though he wasn't in the NBA yet, LaMelo had already become the 12th most followed basketball player in the world. He had the attention of the world and the talent to match it up. In the 2020 NBA draft, LaMelo was selected 3rd overall by the Charlotte Hornets and wasted no time making an impact.
3rd pick in the 2020 NBA draft, the Charlotte Hornets select LaMelo Ball from Chino Hills, California.
He became the youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double and capped off with an NBA Rookie of the Year. The following season, he earned the NBA All-Star selection with 36 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists in a single game. LaMelo Ball is raking up stats unlike anything seen before in Charlotte Hornets history. He even made a serious contender for the 2024 NBA All-Star, but the coach's selections ultimately kept him off the roster. With this pace, we might see him becoming the face of the NBA soon, an honor that even the best 14-year-old in the country, 7th Woods, couldn't achieve.
Oh yeah, I remember him too, 7th Woods, but yeah, LaMelo, all LaMelo gotta do, he gotta stay healthy, I'm gonna be honest. I think that's one of the biggest things with him. Like he was getting hurt a lot, I'm not gonna lie. Because every time I try to be watching the Hornets, like he be injured and stuff like that. He be on the bench, everything. But when he's out there, like he's nice, man. Getting points, everything. But yeah, hopefully, probably like 2 years from now and stuff like that. They hopefully Hornets make playoffs, everything. But yeah, LaMelo he was good, man. Yeah, when he's healthy, he's actually playing well. But I remember this guy right here is Woods. But yeah, Ball in the Family. Yeah, that show was wild. Like when he was younger, bro, he was like wilding out on that show. LeVar had to had to pull him aside and shit like that. Like he was on his ass, bro. Yo, he was wilding out on the show, bro. LaMelo was wild. I swear, man. Like Lonzo and LiAngelo, they're the chill brothers, but LaMelo, he was wild, man. But he the younger one, so yeah, he was crazy.
Evans was ruling social media as an 8th grader, with his highlighting mixtape becoming the most viewed high school basketball video of all time, with over 16 million views. 7th wowed fans with his outrageous athleticism. He was dunking on players older than him and was virtually unstoppable. In his freshman year, he averaged 19.3 points per game, earning the prestigious Basketball Player of the Year title and making many believe he was about to break into the NBA. In 2014, Woods helped the U16 team USA win gold at the FIBA Americas. He earned the 5-star recruit status in the top 54 nationally. Sadly for Woods, it wouldn't get any better than that. Although he eventually made it to UNC, most of his college career was marred with injuries and inconsistency. At UNC, Woods played a backup role behind Joel Berry and Kobe White, which severely limited his court time. In 40 games, he averaged just 7.7 minutes and contributed 2.7 points per game. Things looked even bleaker the following year as 7th missed 17 games due to a stress fracture in his right foot. His career high performance was the one against Gonzaga, where he expressed his disappointment about his performance. Tonight, I had 14 points and I'm still not satisfied with that. I still got a lot more to show, but it didn't get any better. 7th never got a featured role in all his 3 years at UNC. People had started to question whether he was really cut out for high-level basketball. He peaked early, didn't have the growth spurt as expected, undersized, shooting stroke sneaky at best, not NBA quality. With no future in college basketball, 7th turned overseas. In 2023, he signed with the UCC Demons in Ireland, putting an end to his NBA dream. But faring against low competition in the Irish League had certainly put Woods on a pedestal ahead of everyone, and he himself agrees to this. Some of the shots that I have now would have been snatched away in college. Despite NBA troubles, Woods still managed to keep his basketball passion alive. Unlike Akil Carr, whose arrest and legal troubles...
at least you can still play basketball, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the transition from high school to college, he was the backup, PG everything, points per game, 2.7 and stuff like that, even though he did make the NBA. It's hard to make the NBA, everything, but the fact that he's still, playing basketball, everything, that's what's up, man. Because, yeah, a lot of people just, they just forget about it and they start doing something else. But the fact that, he's still playing basketball, doing what he loves to do, everything, that's actually what's up, that's good. Even though he's not in the NBA, he's actually still playing basketball. It's overseas, everything. That's what's up, though.
put him off NBA track. Akil Carr started out as a bright, smart kid who happened to be exceptional at basketball. Despite standing at barely 5'6", a dwarf by basketball standards, Carr was lightning quick handle, which made him a local legend at Patterson High in Baltimore. Locals called him the Crime Stopper.
Crime Stopper. Bro, he was stopping crimes in Baltimore. People wanted to see him in the game, bro. That's how crazy it was. That shit was wild. Now, Akil Carr, like, I'm not gonna lie. Him and, what's his name? Trey Jefferson. I'll say they're one of the small guards that, bro, they should make the, I ain't gonna, bro. They were a problem. I'm not gonna lie. To be honest, bro.
Why you come to see the Crime Stopper?
Because when Carr is on the court, crime comes to a halt around Baltimore as everyone flocks to see him play. After
Right.
Seventh Woods,
Yo,
Carr's mixtapes
that-
were second in line in terms of number of views at the time. In 2011, Carr's fame went global when he led Team USA's U19 squad to win gold in Italy. That same year, Carr reportedly received a $750,000 contract offer from Italian club L'Automatica Roma, making it the largest ever offer to a high school player who hadn't yet graduated. Carr, however, turned it down to focus on the NBA path through college. He returned to the US with scholarship offers from elite programs including Seton Hall, Kentucky, and Baylor. But before he could formally sign a contract, Carr was behind bars. In 2012, he was arrested on domestic assault charges and was accused of pushing his then girlfriend to the ground and then kicking and punching her multiple times. While he was released on a $50,000 bond, the incident put a serious dent to his reputation. To make matters worse, speculation grew that Carr might be ineligible for NCAA play as he was approaching age 19 before the season. So he decided to skip college basketball completely and go straight for the NBA, a dream that never realized. Carr went undrafted in the 2013 and 2014 NBA drafts, and with no college gig to look back to, all he could count on were NBA development leagues. He had brief stints with the Delaware 87ers in the NBA Development League and the St. John Millrats in Canada, only to get suspended by both teams once again for conduct detrimental to the team. And just like that, Baltimore basketball phenomenon Akil Carr struggled to find a foothold in the pros. In 2022, the newly formed Reading Rebels of the Basketball League gave Akil Carr another shot at the game. Now entering his third season with the team, Carr has managed to stay afloat in the amateur league. If only he had taken his college career more seriously, like this new chap, Kyle Filipowski, who built his reputation on his exceptional
Damn, if he had a situation of the domestic violence, damn, what would happen? Damn, that was a downfall. If he didn't have that, damn, then everything would probably be different. Damn, that goes to show, man. Yeah, bro. It get like one thing that you do, it can ruin your career, man. So yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, it's just think about like, man, like one thing you do like can change everything. So yeah, you gotta just try to stay out of trouble. You know, just focus on what you love to do, and get better at it. Yeah, just stay focused. Yeah, try not to get in trouble. So, damn. That's crazy.
playmaking abilities rather than social media numbers. With a 6'10" frame at just 18 years old, Kyle wasn't your typical high school build. He drove the ball like a guard and even knew how to make a special lay for a loose ball. He played for 2 high schools before settling at Wilbraham and Monson Academy in Massachusetts, where his game truly began to take flight. As a sophomore in 2021, Kyle starred for Team USA at the 2021 FIBA U18 World Cup, helping win gold and being named the Gatorade Massachusetts Player of the Year. Filipowski's rank as a consensus 5-star recruit and a scout grade of 93 led him to being pursued by top college programs like Iowa, Michigan, Syracuse, and UCLA. Eventually, Kyle chose Duke's, and it didn't take him long to become a key player in a stacked Duke team. He averaged 15 points and 9.2 rebounds per game, winning the ACC Rookie of the Year award as well as ACC Tournament tournament MVP honors. By this point, it looks like Filipowski had a real shot at the lottery position in the 2023 NBA draft, but surprisingly, he preferred to stay one more year at Duke to refine his skills or perhaps to get the most out of his NIL deal, which now amounted to $7.2 million. Either way, the decision paid off. As a sophomore, Kyle became only the 7th Duke player in 50 years to surpass 1,000 career points in his first 2 seasons. With that many accolades, even mock drafts ranked him top 20 in the 2024 draft. However, off-court rumors surrounding Kyle's personal life, particularly alleged grooming accusations involving his fiancée, Caitlin Hutchinson, drew intense negative attention. The controversy contributed to his unexpected drop to 32nd overall pick in the second round with the Utah Jazz.
32nd pick in the 2024 NBA draft, the Utah Jazz select Kyle Filipowski from Duke University.
So many teams passed on such a talented player, all because of some family drama. Despite the fall, Kyle landed in a strong environment at the Jazz. But for a Duke star with a multi-million-dollar NIL portfolio, just scraping into the borderline NBA shows how tough it is to break it into the top league. Yet some players go beyond that, transforming themselves into the next generation of Hall of Famer. Luka Doncic was a young Slovene prodigy, and by the time he was 7 years old,
they got a couple young pieces over there. You know, they have Keontae George, Filipowski, they got Kessler. They got a little squad going. Now they got Ace Bailey. So yeah, in the future, man, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Jazz, but they got good young squad, and they still got Lloyd Markin over there. He we signed a 5-year contract, or something like that. So yeah, man, Jazz. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Jazz in the future. But they got a little young squad over there.
He was already playing against high school players. With early training from his father, Sasha Doncic, a former pro, Luka made even high schoolers look amateur. At 13, Luka moved to Spain to join Real Madrid's youth academy. 3 years later, he was leading their team and even debuted for Real Madrid's pro team. At 16 years of age, he was the youngest ever to do so. From winning the EuroLeague championship for Real Madrid to helping Slovenia win the Eurobasket 2017, Luka had become the 18-year-old LeBron James of European basketball. But would he survive against the big guys of the NBA? That still remained a mystery even for him. In 2018, Luka Doncic declared for the NBA draft and was selected 3rd overall by the Atlanta Hawks, but was immediately traded to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Trae Young. Even Mavericks weren't sure how this gamble would play out, but it wasn't until week 6 of his rookie season when he was asked to step in for the injured Dennis Smith Jr. as a point guard. He recorded 15 points and 8 assists in that game, which set the tone for his NBA career. By January, Luka became the youngest player in NBA's history to ever record a 30-point triple-double, and went on to win NBA Rookie of the Year. The next season, he became the fastest NBA player in history to record 2,000 career points, doing it 5 games faster than LeBron James.
What the hell is wrong with Luka? Luka's different.
Yeah, I see
it's
this.
kind of like street ball. He plays like a white guy? No, he plays like a black guy.
By 2025, Luka had been selected to 5 All-Star games and 5 All-NBA first teams,
tough,
all
man.
before age 25. And from the looks of it, he will continue to break records, but now with the LA Lakers. For a player who flew in from Europe to be dominating the NBA, sets Luka leagues ahead of Zion Williamson, who failed to keep an NBA seat despite a promising high school career.
Yeah, Luka, I think there was a game where he versed OKC. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was like 16 years old, and he was versing OKC with Westbrook and them. I don't know if that's true or not. I think that happened. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I feel like that happened. Where I heard something like that. But yeah, now Luka, he been killing it. Since coming to the league, he was dominating everything. When he was on the Mavericks, he was cooking. Got them to the finals, him and Kyrie. So yeah, man. Now he on the Lakers with LeBron James and everything. So he's doing well. He's a problem for real. I'm surprised. Hopefully he's gonna get MVP everything. But yeah, he's the problem, bro.
6'3" freshman in high school, Zion was a physical freak who made a mockery of his high school competition with windmill dunks, chase down blocks, and rim-rattling alley-oops. In his freshman year alone, he averaged 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game. And that was just the beginning. Zion quickly became the face of viral high school basketball, and by the age of 16, he already had thousands of followers.
Zion is the most unique athlete I've coached at Duke.
And got featured in Slam magazine and named in the Times Next 100 Most Influential People. Even Drake was seen wearing his high school jersey. He was poised to be the next NBA star, but over the next couple of years, injuries and controversies defined most of his career.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. For what I've seen, man, he probably is the hypest player I've seen. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, him and Lonzo, like the hype was up there, bro. Like he probably is number one. Zion. The fact that he came into the league, and I think the year after, I believe, he was already the cover of the game. So yeah, Zion. I'll probably say he's the most hyped up person I've seen. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Yeah, everybody was just watching Zion. Yeah, you had Drake had rocking your high school jersey, everything. You had LeBron coming to your games. You had people in seats just watching you play. Like it was wild. I remember, Summer League. I think it's Kevin Knox. Knox had the ball and he ripped it from him, grabbed the ball and slammed it down. And everybody was like hyped off of that, bro. It was crazy. I'm like, yeah, bro. Zion. Bro, he was the problem, bro. But yeah, when he came to the league, he was injured, everything. I believe he was injured at first, and then also he came to to the basketball game, NBA game. He was doing well for himself, and when he's healthy, bro, he's a problem. You can't stop him, bro. It was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. He's one of the few guys in the league that's like hella strong. He's one of the strongest guys in the league, bro. Because the fact that he be pushing people, everything, bro, it was actually kind of wild. It was crazy, man. He was, you playing against grown men, and he actually moving them, everything, coming to the league, bro. It was wild. So, yeah. And I like his game, too, because it's like old school basketball. He's not shooting threes like that. It's just bully ball. Just go into paint, dunk on people, bro. So, yeah.
Torn hamstring, soreness, setbacks, weight issues. Zion was constantly battling his own body just to stay on the court. By 2024, Zion had missed over 60% of games in his NBA career. When he is healthy, he is a great player, but he is never healthy. No point in paying a guy that much for missing more than he plays. Even off the court, Zion made a series of bad choices. Now in 2025, he's facing serious allegations, including sexual assault, strangulation, and domestic violence. Plus, his alleged involvement with adult film actress Mariah Mills drew intense public scrutiny. And since NBA executives have refused to pick players going through lawsuits, Zion's trade value has hit rock bottom. With such a turbulent record and ongoing legal troubles, it's hard to see him lasting much longer in the league. Yet he's still better off than Yvonne Robb, who had to take an exit out of the NBA for his plummeting gameplay. Yvonne Robb started out strong at the Bishop O'Dowd High School in Oakland, California. With a 6'8" and 220 pounds lean frame, he could dominate both ends of the court. But it was that championship-winning free throw with 0.8 seconds left in the final against Mater Dei that thrusted him into the spotlight as a viral basketball star. In his senior year, Ivan earned the California Mr. Basketball, was named McDonald's All-American, and played in the Jordan Brand Classic. By the time he graduated, Yvonne had amassed over 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds, making him the winningest player in the Bishop O'Dowd history with a 108-19 record. He garnered national attention, and his mixtapes went viral on YouTube. At this rate, it seemed Ivan could go anywhere, but despite offers from Duke, UCLA, and Kentucky, he chose to stay local and play for the California Golden Bears.
I just want to announce that I'm going to the University of Cal Berkeley.
As a freshman at Cal, Ivan secured All-Pac's 12-second team honors and began the next year as a preseason All-American. He was picked by ESPN as a top 10 recruit for the 2015 draft. Despite being projected as the lottery pick, Ivan chose to stay at college for another year. For Ivan Rabb, returning to Cal for another year was a simple choice, but it proved fatal to his professional career. While his performance improved as a sophomore, upping his numbers to 14 points and 10 rebounds per game, his draft stock cooled off. He went back to school and got worse. Death sentence for a prospect. In the 2017 draft, he was dropped out of the first round entirely, eventually falling to number 35 pick overall by the Orlando Magic, only to be traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. Ivan's time with Grizzlies was underwhelming. He only managed to score 5 points per game on average in 85 games. By now, his downfall was imminent. After a brief assignment with the New York Knicks, the 24-year-old Ivan left the NBA court quietly and for good. He's now shifted his focus into supporting young athletes through his new business venture, Prosperity Rising, a program that focuses on mental health awareness and personal development in addition to basic basketball training. Ivan is helping young youth chase dreams that he couldn't achieve himself, unlike his former teammate LiAngelo Ball, who had his reputation.
Yeah, I never heard of him. I'm not gonna lie. He's probably the only guy on this video that I never really heard of, but yeah, that's crazy.
Dragged through the mud. Coming from the same family that produced NBA stars like LaMelo and Lonzo Ball, LiAngelo Ball was destined for bigger things. With a former basketball player as his father, he was raised to be the next NBA star. At Chino Hills, the three Ball brothers were a force to be tackled with, but LiAngelo set his own benchmarks. In his senior year, he dropped a school record 72 points in a single game, averaged 33 points per game, and led Chino Hills to an open division championship.
Don't your parents know the holidays are over?
If Verizon's keeping the holiday spirit, Nick, so
yeah, LiAngelo, yeah,
great deal.
Super fast, reliable home internet?
Yeah, he was one, like the Ball brothers, like people that didn't really talk about as much. You know, I mean, of course, you know, high school, like they would talk about all three of them, but you know, as times went on, like it was mostly like Lonzo and LaMelo. So yeah, I don't think nobody was really talking about LiAngelo like that, like after high school stuff like that. So yeah, I think you know after his situation, yeah, it was raps. So, but now you're a rapper, so.
He had become a viral phenomenon alongside his brothers. Despite being the leading scorer on one of the country's top teams, LiAngelo entered college basketball as just a 3-star recruit. So in 2016, LiAngelo signed to play for the UCLA Bruins to level up his gameplay. However, his college career was short-lived.
3 players on the UCLA men's basketball team are out on bail after they were arrested in China. They're accused of stealing from a Louis Vuitton store near the team's hotel.
They also shoplifted other small items within a 90-minute window between games. The situation quickly spiraled out of control, with LiAngelo facing up to 10 years in prison. Eventually, President Donald Trump had to intervene to secure their release from China.
Off by saying sorry for stealing from the stores in China, President Trump and the United States government, for the help that they provided as well.
As a result, LiAngelo was suspended indefinitely from UCLA and subsequently withdrew in 2017. He then signed with BC Pranay, but failed to deliver the same impact on the court that he once had. He even joined his father's Junior Basketball Association League alongside his brother LaMelo, but in comparison, he lacked significantly. After a few NBA G League stints with the Charlotte Hornets and a brief spell in Mexico, he finally put his weapons down. At 24, LiAngelo waved goodbye to professional basketball to become a full-time rapper. LiAngelo reinvented himself as G-Lo to launch a career in music. His debut song Tweaker has garnered over 20 million views on YouTube and secured him a $13 million deal with Universal Music Group. His sudden shift to music seems to be paying off far better than his basketball career. His recent collaboration with Glorilla has already racked up over 5 million views in just 3 months. From being an internationally disgraced disgraced basketball player to an up-and-coming rap star, LiAngelo Ball managed to turn things around, but Mikey Williams couldn't escape a controversy unscathed. He gained early visibility training with LeBron James through his bond with Bronny, but he had the skills and athleticism to back it up. By middle school, Mikey was already being hailed as the top 14-year-old basketball player in the country, ranked ahead of Bronny, and just like that, he hit 1 million Instagram followers before playing a single high school game. He then made a debut on the court as a freshman at San Ysidro High School, scoring 46 points in his debut and later dropping 77 in a single game. By the end of his first year, he averaged 30 points per game, earning Max Prep's National Freshman of the Year and becoming a 5-star recruit. Soon, offers came pouring in from Kansas, Memphis, and USC. Puma even handed him a rare sneaker deal while he was still a teenager, which was considered an unprecedented move for a high schooler. At just 16, Mikey was doing magazine covers, signing autographs, and being dubbed a future NBA lottery pick. But what looked like the start of an iconic career turned out to be the peak. He transferred to Lake Norman Christian School in North Carolina for his sophomore year, but couldn't get his high school glory back. Seeking to recapture his form, Mikey returned to San Ysidro for his senior year, but his performance graph dipped down to 23 points per game. Mikey accepted an offer from University of Memphis, but before he could put on the Memphis jersey, the police came knocking on his door.
On the rising local high school basketball star arrested for allegedly shooting at a car full of people.
In April 2023, Williams was arrested in California on multiple felony charges, including assault with a deadly weapon. Eyewitnesses said that he fired shots at a car full of people, including minors, who were leaving his residence after a heated argument.
Accused of shooting somebody.
Though no one was injured, Mikey faced 9 felony counts and a potential 30-year prison sentence. He was this close to making it to college, getting some nil money, then possibly making the league, and now it's gone. In November 2023, he took a plea deal, avoiding prison time, but receiving 80 hours of community service and paying $50,000 in bail. But the damage to his reputation was already done. In 2024, he briefly returned to play for the UCF, but could only muster up 5 points across 18 games. After a brief 1-year stint at UCF, Mikey Williams has now signed with the Sacramento State Hornets for the 2025 season under Shaquille O'Neal. With 3 years of college eligibility still ahead, Mikey has a renewed chance to make his college career translate into an NBA career, but the reality is, he's not talented enough for teams to bypass his legal issues.
Damn, man. That's crazy. Man, it goes to show, man. Like, yo, you see all these guys, getting hyped up, seeing these mixtapes and like how their career would, go everything. And then all of a sudden, some of them they actually, live up to the hype. Some of them, because of one incident, your career messes up everything. So yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is, man. Some of them too. They're not, gonna make the NBA. At least they still playing basketball. Because that was their sport all their life. So even though you don't make the NBA, the fact that you're still playing basketball, that's still good and everything. So. Because, again, not everybody's going to make the NBA, everything, but, you can always play overseas, and stuff like that, and, still get money, everything, but, yeah, but, some of them, the dude that, he's actually helping other children to play basketball, that's actually what's up, and, working on mental health, everything, because mental health is a big thing. Everything I feel like people don't really talk about mental health as much. When it comes to like especially men, everything with mental health shit, stuff like that. So that's pretty good to hear. We work on mental health care, and helping kids out, and helping them with their basketball careers. That's what's up. So yeah, but some of them they do stuff, and yeah, their career would be over. It's not the same. It wasn't the same like how they was before. So yeah, it's crazy how one thing can change everything, your career. So, but yeah, this was a good video. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts on these viral players and who do you thought that was the hypest person? Who you thought was like the hypest guy you seen that everybody was talking about? I think for me it was probably Zion. I'm not gonna lie. Either like Zion and the Ball family. I'm sorry. Like during that time period, everybody was talking about them literally. So yeah, let me know down in the comments who you thought was the most hyped up person and what your thoughts on these guys being viral in high school to like where they are now. Let me know down in the comments. And let me know down in the comments too what you want to see next. If you need your channel, subscribe to the boy. Have a good day. Stay safe. I'll see y'all next video. Peace.